early already. Oh my gosh. Hello, Mr. Holt. You guys, we have a ridiculously amazing guest today. You are all in for such a treat with Dan. Dan, before we get to you and anything crazy and awesome, we have a little bit of business to go through. So let's flip through the slides really quickly here. Who's got some gratitude to give and a win of the week to share? Let's hear it. I'll start. I've heard nothing but amazing accolades for Ashley and the class she has evolved and brought to everybody that started yesterday, Tuesday. And I will give a little pro tip on that because there was a lot of concern going around for I want to go to Jason's session in Costa Mesa next week, but Ashley's class is running. Ashley, I love that. Let Jason know. People did not want to miss your class to go see Jason Abrams. So Ashley is putting her class on pause for next week. There will be a skipped week. Everyone who wants to go to Costa Mesa to see Jason Abrams in person can do that free and clear. And Ashley, thanks for bringing the Tuesday session in place so quickly, following up on Bold and bringing all our people together.
Absolutely. And I was going to kind of do the same, but not give myself accolades. Everybody who showed up, it was a full room, which was not, I didn't expect that. And there were people in there I met for the first time, and yet everybody participated at a really high level. It was an awesome experience. For those of you who wanted to be there but couldn't, Ari, I hope, I haven't been able to talk to her yet today, but hopefully the recording was successful and we can send that out. So maybe this next week when we make the pause, just watch that. If you were in the room, watch it again because we covered a lot of content and it's going to be that, let's call it thick, every single week we get together. So probably will be good just to go back and watch it.
Awesome. Anybody else had anything to share? Raise your hand and we will get to you. For the sake of using all of our guests' amazing time, I'm going to keep going. Ari, beep. Properties to pitch. Who has something coming up that you want to bring to the conversation today? Who's doing your job and listing a house? You know I hate when it's
And
silent for property pitches.
oh, sorry, I have a fantastic condo. It's in coming soon status right now. We just got it staged. It's in Fashion Valley, two bedroom, two bath, 11, a little bit over 1,100 square feet. Huge patio, VA assumable at 4.71. And it should be coming on the market like fully soon. Let me know if you have a buyer. Let's work together.
Awesome, Corrine. Thanks for saving us from the deafening silence around properties coming soon. That's helpful. Anybody else? Speak now or forever hold your peace. You can always go
I
to the
still have
chat
this
as well.
great condo that is an awesome opportunity for someone that wants a huge break and wants to take advantage of getting the lowest rate for just a little tiny condo, two bedroom, one bath in San Carlos. Just give me a call. I'll give you all the details, but it's amazing. So
Awesome, Trisha. Anybody else? Okay, go to the chat if you have it. Facebook is always working as well, but I want you to get the chance to do it here. Culture Committee has a Halloween costume contest and potluck October 22nd. Y'all, it's October. Happy Q4. I am real excited about this one. There were a couple of really important messages I put on Facebook this morning as well. I don't want to take time here, but I will direct you to go there and look at that everyone tag. And Ashley will probably get into it a little bit in her part of the conversation today. So bring a main dish, wear a spooky costume or a sweet one. Keep it going, Ari. Mondays with Mark, always in session every Monday. Do not feel the need to not attend that. Come with your questions. He's got content every week. But y'all, if you are not in an appointment, Ashley, don't distract me with silliness while I'm trying to speak. If you are not in an appointment or doing your lead gen, you're learning. Those are the three things you're doing. You're on an appointment, you're doing your lead gen, or you are learning. And on Mondays, for 30 minutes, you can be learning with Mark about contracts, compliance, anything to do with your transactions. Show up and use the resource. There is value there when you take part in it. Next. Broker Bob, did you want to speak about your dialogues and conversations?
we're getting attendance every week, every day, Tuesday through Thursday, 9:30 in the room. Only lasts a half hour, but people are getting value out of it. If you're having challenging getting the appointments or getting closings, you might want to log in, at least online. And Eddie's a great resource. He's bringing back his old days as I didn't know this. He was a stockbroker in the East Coast, big high power. If you ever saw the movie Wall Street, he had a cameo in there.
Back
He
in
was
the
the guy
80s.
in the corner.
Back in the 80s, right, Bob?
In the 1900s. Y'all, again, if you're not on an appointment, you're not lead genning, you're learning, come to this 30-minute session in the room or on Zoom, and then let that go right into your lead gen conversations. You're not just going to get like time to practice it. You're going to get things to say. When you're like, I don't know what to say, I don't know who I'm calling today, they will help you know who to call and what to say. So get your butt in that room, virtually or in person. Next.
Cool. What's up, you guys? So I want to just give you a quick update with the government shutdown. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac came out and said that they are not going to have any impact on their day-to-day business. Obviously, we were looking at jumbo loans and so forth and big bank investors. We're not worried about those. The ones that we are worried about are our government loans, FHA, VA loans, and anyone that may require IRS transcripts, you guys. So self-employed borrowers, specifically anyone that's dealing with rental incomes and stuff like that, they may be impacted because we do need to verify those tax returns that we're receiving. So that's the only thing they said that they're going to be working for the next 5 days without any interruptions. We're a little bit concerned that it may go beyond that. So we'll see how long this lasts. Last time, I believe it was about a month that they were shut down. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was like 31 days, something like that. So that will delay some of these government loans, but they do have nuances of how we can get around to it because these loans don't need to be delivered to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac for the government side for 90 days. So they're giving us a little bit of wiggle room as far as allowing us to provide some sort of evidence that they have verified verifications of employment and transcripts and so forth, and allowing us to kind of give that post closing, as long as we have something else in place, that we've done our due diligence. So do expect delays with government loans is all I'm saying, VA, FHA, but Fannie and Freddie conventional jumbo should be business as usual. We will definitely, yeah, and I will
Thanks for
definitely
that,
keep you
Eddie.
updated. Absolutely.
That is the note I put on Facebook this morning. I tagged everyone. I know some of y'all block that everyone tag sometimes. You're not going to get those important messages. Go ahead and probably unblock that tag if you did that. Call your people. If you have escrows open right now, call them because all the things Eddie just said, it's not just if they have a VA or an FHA, it's also the IRS verification. He just shared some really important things. I hope we're listening about there's leeway, there's wiggle room, there's possibilities. The problems come when the conversations don't happen. So be proactive, reach out to your people. Hey, I'm thinking of you. How are you? What's going on? We're on top of this. We're moving through it. So look for that post on Facebook that shares a couple of key points, and then please reach out if you have questions about what he just said and you're like, I don't really know how that applies to me, but it might, but I have an escrow closing tomorrow. Ask your people. We are your people. Ask Eddie for lending things. I'm not a lender. And we will get
Yeah.
you the right information and make sure you're walking through it the best
Feel
way
free to
possible.
reach out if you guys are in the middle of escrow and some lender is telling you something. I'll look it up on my side and see if there's any kind of suggestions I can give you to help move things along.
Calm in the storm and be a voice of reason. That is your job. Keep guiding the ship forward and let people know we will all get there as quickly and as smoothly as we can. Thanks, Eddie. Jacqueline, would you like to share about that one?
Sure would. Thank you to everybody who joined earlier today from 12 to 1. We did optimize your Google business profile. It was a great group. I know some of you were at different levels of just getting started versus a lot of you already had a profile, so you're looking to optimize. I hope you took some awesome tips out of today. I will get the PDF posted on the Facebook group today, and then I will By tomorrow, I will get the recording link over to Ari and Nancy so they can get that out to you guys. So by end of week, you should have the recording in case you weren't able to join or wanted to go back. I know a few of you wanted to go back to go through the steps once you had time to work on it. Because I know not everybody was able to join, I have opened up an open Q&A session next Thursday. There's a lot going on Wednesday, so I put it on Thursday. It's going to be Zoom only for just 30 minutes from 1 to 1:30, Thursday, October 9th. That's the Zoom link, but I'll put the information up on Facebook as well. If you have any questions about the Google Business Profile class, or if you have any questions about the KW Canva class, open 30 minutes. I'm just going to be on that open Zoom link. You guys pop in, you can share your screen, you can show me where you're having issues or problems. We'll one-on-one troubleshoot for anything that you do between now and then and have questions on. I will be there for you. So show up on that Zoom link October 9th, 1 to 1:30. And then congratulations to our September stars. These were our top 4 Metro agents that closed with escrow partners in the month of September. So congratulations to Amy, to Mike, to Sam and Yanni, to Joe. Congratulations to our September stars. And I think a couple of you might get featured in October as well, because it looks like the people that are there may have some more wins coming up very soon. We're very excited. So there's a little race going on for October. A lot of you guys are getting into escrow. We're very excited about that. So we'll be back with those next week. And that's it. My last thing, if you need, I'm going to throw Noble's name and phone number in the chat. I pulled September data this morning for San Diego County. If you want the little picture that has your info and the stats for San Diego County, text Noble, give him 24 hours to customize it, and he can get it to you by Friday. Or if you just want the template, he can send that out to you immediately. So the template with the stats already in it, he has the link to that. So if you just want to drop in your own photo and DRE number because you know it and you can do it faster, he can send you the template link immediately and you can get that done if you don't want to wait for us to go in and customize it. Otherwise, if you want us to customize it, give us until Friday, because a lot of you ask all at once. But yeah, stats are out for September. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Broker Bob, give us the update.
I'll be brief so we can get to our main guest appearance. You may have gotten an email from Carr. So the new zip form version, which is called Transact, Transact, is out. If you have not gone and learned about it, I highly recommend sitting in on one of their webinars. You will be able to work it side by side in tandem. Zip forms will be good for another year. So hopefully you've gotten into Transact before then. And the reason why they're doing this, several things, is because zip forms was antiquated and they got it as far as they possibly could to bring it into the year 2025. And they just had to upgrade to a new system. So if you're using, one thing you need to know, if you're using the desktop version of zip forms, it's going bye-bye. You're not going to be able to have any type of desktop. And the templates will not be transferable. Mark will still be testing to whether or not the existing templates will be able to be imported or what we need to do with that. We haven't checked on it yet, so please patience on that. But please, when you log into your zip forms, you'll have the option to use the old version of zip forms or try the new version. I highly recommend you try the new version. Here's the bonus on it. You just put in the client one time and then you can do transactions with that client multiply within that client. You don't need to create a whole new transaction. And so that's one of the huge benefits for it. And then shout out to Joe Acosta. I don't see him on the call today. He reached out. He had a question. He's taken a listing and it's in the name of a trust. And he wanted to verify he had his paperwork properly, if he was doing it the right way. And it was a very complicated trust. So I'm glad he did reach out, because if he didn't do it right, he would have had an invalid listing and wouldn't be able to get it through escrow properly. So great job, Joe. Back to you, Sarah.
Thanks, baby. Good job, Joseph. I know you guys, Karine has worked hard on getting some cool education set up for next week. We're going to have a DST specialist coming in. We have the senior session coming up. We've got a lot of cool things. Stay tuned to the Facebook page for that, and then she'll be sharing more about what's going on there. It's during our regular team meeting time and before, as we've been packing Wednesdays with goodness. For today, for the sake of time, I'm going to hand it over to Ashley to interview Dan because y'all will just not be able to get enough of Dan. If you didn't hear him, he was on the MREA podcast on September 8th, and his story is a wild one. Before she digs in, I would say suspend your disbelief and don't think that California is different than wherever he's working because real estate is real estate. Ashley, let's go.
Howdy, howdy. How you doing, brother?
What are you doing? I should say sister, I suppose, right? Like
Yeah.
sister from another mister?
Yeah. So just to give everybody a little bit of context, I met Dan, God, 5 or 6 years ago now,
And did
I
not
think.
like me.
No, we were both called to Austin, and we were being invited to teach a new class. And my plane was a little bit late, so I came in the room. I was the last person in the room, and there was one seat available behind this jackass. And took about 10 minutes to go, who is this guy? Man. But ends up he says everything that I want to say, and I usually have a filter, and Dan doesn't.
I
So
have no filter. And
uh,
it
then
works.
then we spent the next couple years on the road together teaching and training, and it's just
Yeah,
awesome. And he is
we did.
he is like my little brother.
Yeah, it's been a blast. It's been a great journey. And I'm gonna give Ashley a quick compliment and just tell her that it was funny because Ashley and I, in all fairness, and you hear me okay, right?
Yep.
Okay. Ashley and I are completely the two most polar opposite people you'll ever meet in the world, with the exception of we have the same belief system. And we care for people really deeply. And we like to think different, think bigger, challenge our mindset. And she is a genuine friend of mine that I'll have the rest of my life. And she is right, though. I was a jackass. And that's okay because that's who I am. And she grew to love it. It's never changed, has it?
No, it's awesome. It's awesome. All right, so more
Water.
context
Just for the
for
record, this is
everybody.
water.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are drinking buddies too, so it's all good. Um, you are in how big is Springfield? He's in
Um,
Springfield, Missouri, everybody.
Yep.
It's
Springfield,
it's a,
Missouri, which is
a
Southwest
state
Missouri. Just
that is kind of in the Midwest, but a little more east than west.
yeah, kind of almost like dead center of the country. And we're in a there's 150,000 people in Springfield. It's got a daytime population of about 300,000. That's the actual demographics that we serve. And we have an average sales price of $275,000. That's after our economic expansion through COVID, because it was just $165,000 before that.
Oh, you've almost doubled. That's great.
Yeah, yeah.
So, how many units are you on track to close this year as a
We'll
team?
close 300 transactions this year.
Okay.
But listen, that's
So,
down, and that's down like
yeah, what's wrong with
40%.
you?
We
Come
we
on.
were doing about 560 for about 5 years.
Yeah. Well, and like we were kind of talking through text, our market's been cut in half too. So
Yeah,
I've been telling the kids, when your overall unit count gets cut in half, there's no way that's not going to impact you,
that's right.
right?
That's right.
The
Yeah,
pie
and
got
some of ours
smaller.
was elective, honestly, and not to get into this, but some of ours was I just got tired of some of the people I was in business with.
Fair. Okay, so let's pivot there because you and I've talked about this in the past.
Uh-huh.
How many salespeople on your team?
4.
4 salespeople
Uh-huh.
for
Yes.
300 units.
Yes.
Okay, I want everybody to have that sink in. What's your
That's down
split
a
of
little bit per agent. Our average agent transaction during the 500 era, I'll call that, like I said, that was about 5 years that we did over 500 units a year. The average agent on our team, by the way, we had 5 agents then, and right at the average agent on our team was selling 90 homes per year.
Okay, so now they're what, at 80?
Yeah, 70 probably they'll push. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's the split between listings and buyers as a total of that 300?
55-45, and that just happens organically. I'm going to say this in a way that this is my team philosophy. I'm not saying this is an individual philosophy. This is my team philosophy. We are a listing-based business, and we focus on lead generation for listing appointments, and that's the focus of everything we do is to generate listings or to market our listing-based business.
And we definitely will go there a little bit
Yeah.
because I don't know how many of our agents listened to your podcast, but I did. And when you said there are times you get 5 to 1, 5 pieces of business off of every listing, but
Yeah.
more often than not, it's 2 or 3 to 1. So
Minimum
every
two,
listing you
minimum
take,
two, average three.
yeah, that's awesome. So I want to teach these guys how you do that.
Sure.
So with your 4 agents, are you one of those agents? And what is your day to day? What is Dan Holt's role on this team?
Yep. Okay. So my day to day, so Jen Davis is my business partner and my fiance. I just texted you a house that we have under contract. So we're really excited about that because we're participating in this market right now because we found it to be a great opportunity. And so my day to day, yes, I'm in production somewhat. I'm doing business with the people I want to do business with. I'll add for just a second. My business was built on for sale by owners and expireds. I got licensed in 2008, and I don't know what anybody on the call thinks the market is right now where you're at. I'm telling you, it was worse then. It was dismal, and that's when I got started. And I started my business. I didn't have a sphere of influence really, and so I started on for sale by owners and expireds. I wouldn't say that we've abandoned that model. However, that's not our focus in lead generation right now. I will also add that we do not buy a single lead.
Yeah, awesome. So
We
your
used to,
margins
and
are
we
also
have.
pretty good.
What's that?
Your margins are pretty good then also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right now, and we're worse than we've been a long time. When we were at 560 units, we were averaging a 42% profit margin. We've dropped to 30% because our cutting of expenses lagged a little bit behind the transition. We'll get that back to 40%.
That's still, I mean, I've coached big teams all over the country. That's still, for that unit count, a really
Yeah.
commendable profit
Well,
margin.
one of the things people misunderstand too is how hard it is to get those margins at a $275,000 average sales price.
For
Because keep
sure.
in mind, I mean, at a point in time, we were generating $3.5 million in commission a year, $275,000 at a time, or $7,000 at a time.
Yeah. I didn't give you our numbers, but our average commission right now is $22,000.
Okay, all right, yeah. So
Which, by
about
the
trip,
way, and you can appreciate this because again, we think a lot alike. When it's that high, it tends to create some lazy habits.
understand, yeah. The blessing in my
When
market is
you
I can't
actually,
have
it's
lazy habits.
that's exactly it. It is a
Yeah,
blessing at
yeah,
that price point. But
yeah,
my gosh, if we could get a few people to think like you do in a market that's this priced,
yep,
they could retire in 3 years.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. So one of the things where our market, so everybody knows, I heard him say on the podcast, their market's gone up for 14 years, just like ours has. We obviously gained more value, but it's been
Sure.
an aggressive seller's market for 14 years. And all of a sudden this year, boom,
Yep,
but it hasn't gone backwards. Right?
yep,
It just plateaued.
yep,
So where you're still seeing gains, but they're really moderate, and your
yep,
market has slowed. So our
yep.
market factors are actually the same.
Yeah, very similar. I would say that's consistent with us.
So answer this for me from your perspective and then from what you believe the people on your team. By the way, he's also the OP in his market center and you have 450 agents?
475 now.
Sorry, 475. So for the agents on your team as well as your agents in the office, there's probably been some mindset challenges. There could be some financial scarcity that's been going on because now we've been in this
Sure,
market that's challenge for a while. So
sure.
how do you deal with that? How do you keep in the game instead of just going, screw it? I'm like, you don't need this anymore.
Yep. So I guess the first thing that I have to realize and teach and make sure and share over and over again is that this is and has been and was very predictable. So nobody should be surprised by this, right? This has been edging on. I don't mean to go book on you, but I
Oh,
just
go
taught this
book.
to my market center today. And this is page 49 of Shift, and it's shift tactic number 4. And it starts with this. Tell me if any of these are familiar to you. This is the first 2 sentences only. Fewer leads, fewer showings, and increased days on market. The minute these show up, take notice. Did it say panic? Did it say freak out? Did it say max out your credit cards? No, it said take notice. Right? All we're doing is taking an inventory of where we are in the market. So I guess to that point, we're just analyzing the data and understanding how to strategize ourselves to where the market is. Like, I don't think stockbrokers are freaking out right now. I mean, their market ebbs and flows. For some reason, we think the stock market has a free pass to ebb and flow, but when the real estate market does, we respond emotionally and we freak out. This is very predictable.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So how about with your agents? Because there's another thing when you have a business as big as you do, I don't want to say insulated because obviously any shift down is going to hurt, but
Sure.
you aren't living when the shift hits paycheck to paycheck. If you're an agent who's living paycheck to paycheck and then you get hit with a shift,
Yes.
it probably does cause a little bit of panic. And I would
Yeah.
assume out of that 475 agents, you got a few of those.
Well, sure, absolutely, yeah. And some of them are newer, and some of them are older. I said this in a team meeting the other day. One of my biggest fears, one of my internal biggest fears, is that I am becoming the agent that I built my business on in 2008, 2009, and 10. Meaning, have I become complacent? Because one of the reasons I'm okay with some of the business transitions and changes that I've done is because I'm comfortable. I've done it, right, and I built the nest egg or the whatever, and so but I'm not done with that fire, right? That fire and that challenge to win. So I think to right, the first thing you have to do, I guess, is and we talked about this in a meeting we had recently. Also, the first thing you have to do is get your personal finances in order. One of the biggest challenges in real estate is that the first thing that we do is we start comparing ourselves to others, thinking that we need things that we don't actually need to sell houses, right? Let's be honest, we come into real estate typically and we make more money than we expected to make. And it's also the attitude that we come in with. The attitude that we come in with is I give tons of flexibility and no one's going to hold me accountable. And that's what I want to do. I want to sell a handful of houses, right? Does that sound familiar to anybody? And don't answer because it was me, right? I came in with a goal to make $60,000 a year. That's how I came in. And I was like, this is easier than I thought. So one of the first things we have to do is change the mindset. Now, there's two options that you have in business, specifically in real estate, I'll talk to because we can talk about any business. You get to come into this industry and you get to make one of two decisions. And either of them are fine decisions, but this is the decisions you get to make. I'm going to run an amazing business or I'm going to have an amazing career. Those are the two options that you could have in real estate. You don't, did I do those balloons?
I think you did. That's a
Really?
new thing. Wow.
That was cool. That was like on time, like on cue. Cue the deer. Anyhow, and so here's the thing: neither answer is wrong. But in order to have an amazing business, it takes a ton of strategy and systems and models, right? And I hate to use cliche terms, but that's a fact. In order to have an amazing career, we have to have the same things. It's just on a different level. So one of the biggest challenges I tell people that are living day to day is I really look at them and I say, number one, is this really what you want? Number two, are you committed to doing the things that it's going to take to make this happen? I'm going to give you an example. Ashley, in your effective market area, how many transactions happen a year? Or a month, or just give me a number. And I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
Let's call it in our entire MLS, which we would actually say is our transaction area. We're looking at 2,500 to 3,000 a month.
A month. Okay, 2,500 to 3,000 a month. Now, is that just homes sold or is that sides?
That's homes sold.
Okay, so there's
5,000. And it's closer to the 25. Again, that's down from it's almost 50% of what it was.
You're teeing me up perfect. So 2,500 homes have, let's just pretend last month. Let's just pretend it's and let's just drop it. 2,000 homes sold last month. That means 2,000 homes sold. That means 2,000 buyers bought, meaning there was 4,000 sides available. Okay. Now, just as a quick question, is anybody's monthly goal on this call larger than 4,000? Is anybody's goal on this call more than 40? So first thing we have to do is recognize that there are more units available, probably 10 to double. Let's just say double the units. Is anybody, well, you don't have to answer this. If your goal is 20 a month, look at you have to get 20 out of
just to give you, I want you to have perspective because you don't live in our world here. Okay. In order to be in the top 5% of realtors in San Diego, you need to close 25 a year or more.
Oh, okay. Okay. I remember my first part-time job. No filter, right? We do that a month, right? And so to us, it's just normal. So I understand, and I understand I don't want you guys to just rub me off. I understand there's different intricacies in California with contracts that are in ours. And if you think that's a limiting belief, pound sand, right? My point is this: there's leverage. You can find leverage. What people misunderstand is, what are the dollar producing activities that I need to do every day, and do I treat it like a career? Do I show
Well,
up
and
eight
do
to
you do
five,
them every day? So that,
and
and
do you do them
that's,
every day?
I mean, I could, we have talked for hours on end, and I could totally just pick your brain. But I want these guys to get out of this. What can I put in action? And
Mm-hmm.
where my brain went is because I say this with all the love in my heart, but you are not Einstein.
No, I'm actually very not not.
So everybody knows he was a cop before got into real estate. He built
That's really slow.
houses with his hands.
Yeah,
Like it, I don't even know. Did you go to college? I don't know.
I did go to college. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
But so did I. Doesn't really
I
mean
was
it, right?
academically ineligible to compete, but I mean, yes, I went to college.
And he was a rodeo boy.
Yeah,
If you all
I
can ever
was.
see him in Wranglers, it's really good. Robert, check it out next time. Um, so if you were just, let's say you had a reset, you had a hard reset,
Huh.
something
Uh-huh.
happened and you
Uh-huh.
woke up and you had nothing. Team was
Okay.
dissolved, and you
Yep.
kind of went through some of that a couple
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
You wake up, you have no listings, you have no buyers, you're now in this flattened market. What do you
Uh-huh.
do?
I show up and I do the activities that I know generate the results that I want.
And what are those activities?
Specifically, I start making contacts with people. I go start having coffee with people. I have lunch with people. I'll give you one simple example. Have you ever heard of the 30 coffee and 30 day strategy?
Yep.
Yeah, just go have coffee with people every day and talk to them about them. They're going to ask you what you do.
Wait. Talk to them about what?
Them.
Hmm.
Go have lunch every day with somebody different, and don't repeat. You can't repeat a single person. It's really simple, right? It's just the activities of being in front of people, networking people, and asking them how you can help them, and they'll also inversely ask you how they can help you, right? And you're just front of mind in front of people. I would meet with as many people as I can. I would have 4 coffees a day. I'd be so jacked up on caffeine that I wouldn't sleep. And actually knows I don't need any caffeine to be who I am. And I would get in front of as many people. See, here's the reality. And we just use as an example. There are 4,000 transactions happening in your board last month. There's 2,000 buyers, there's 2,000 sellers, right? And all you got to do is figure out how to stick your nose right in the middle of one or two of those and make $40,000 in a month. But the challenge is, right? So here's the deal: the 4,000 transactions are happening every month, regardless. The challenge is, you don't know them, they don't know you, and you don't know their time frame.
So let's just pause it for a second, because I know we've got some agents on here going, yeah, but what do you talk about? And you said you talk about them. You're not going in, because I sometimes think we've gotten a little bit screwed up because we've been so drilled to ask everybody, who do you know that needs to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? That's not what you're saying. You're saying go connect on a human level because we like people, and be curious and be in the conversation. Everything else will flow from that.
Real estate will come up,
Yeah.
but don't be the one to bring it in the room. I mean, wear a hat if you want to, like do the whole logo on your computer, like whatever, like subtly, softly bring it in. I'm not the person you think I am. I've never called anybody in 5,000 transactions, which probably took 50,000 phone conversations, and said, do you know anybody that's interested in buying or selling and investing in real estate? I've never said it.
Yeah. I believe that. And that's why you have, I believe, the levels of success you have, because you just authentically show up. And part of your authenticity is that you do. Human beings are an interesting animal to you. So you can be in that conversation fully. I would, if we have time, and I'm not going to keep looking at my watch, but I would love for this group to hear from you how you put the deal together with the guys in the airport.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but let's go back to production, because as I shared with you, we had the toughest summer we've ever seen in San Diego real estate. Now we're starting to tick up, so we have some good things that are happening.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, I know every month that goes by that it just seems so heavy. It gets harder in a lot of ways to just dust yourself off and get out there again.
Yep. Yep.
So back to that, if somebody said, you know what, Hail Mary, I'm going to join your team.
Hmm.
You've
Can I
got
pause
four
right there for
people.
just a second?
Mm,
Keep that thought right there.
got it.
Because you asked me before, what are the things that we do, right? I don't care what you do. It could be coffee, it could be lunch, it could be 10 phone conversations, it could be 5 Facebook messages, it can be whatever it is that you determine is how you connect with people in your market and your environment. But here's one of the biggest challenges, Ashley, is that we don't know how to measure our day or our wins. We don't know how to measure our wins per day. And so my point to that is this: if you've determined by your business model, because and actually anybody on this call can help you with this, what you have to do is you first have to build out, for lack of better terms, a pro forma that says, I want this end result, and therefore I'm going to do these activities because these activities are going to generate this result, whatever activities you deem are going to get those results. And then you have to show up and do them every day. And here's the challenge, though. I'm just gonna make up an example. If my number was I'm going to make 5 contacts per day, I'm just going to make that up. If I show up and I make 5 contacts a day and I don't get a piece of business, okay, that's okay, because I made the 5. I did the 5 because my business plan at the first year said, if I do that consistently every day, time over time over time. Pause for a second. We don't like these conversations when we talk about business. So let's talk about physical fitness. What's the fastest path to getting physically fit? Showing up consistently and doing X amount of workouts or exercise for X amount of time, and it's compounded time over time. My point is this: we give ourselves, let's think of like New Year's resolutions. We show up January 1 and we're saying, I'm going to work out every day this year. And at day 17, we quit and we just give up completely and resign to the fact that we're not going to really ultimately change. That's essentially what happens with agents. It's the same thing. We made the plan. We did the research. We said, I want January 1 to make this change in my life. In order to make that, I'm going to do this and this and this and this. And that's what's going to make it happen. And we show up and we do it. It's the same thing in business. What we have to do is understand this is the business model and I have to do this consistently. I am not a consistency person. I do not like lead generation. I am adverse to consistency, but I love the results that it generates. I just give a thumbs up too. That's really cool. I love when I talk to my hands. And so that's my point. We have to have a healthy recognition of, I want this outcome and I have to put this into it. And if I don't put this into it, I don't. So as far as like the feeling or the emotion of not feeling defeated, it's because my win is not the contract. My win is not the closing. My win is what I do every day. And I can leave satisfied and go home and know that I did my work and know that I can stop at 5 and not answer the phone call again. By the way, I only work 8 to 5. Well, not only 8 to 5, but 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. I don't work weekends. I don't work evenings. I have different priorities during those times, but I do my work during the day, so I have free permission to do it. I know I've done my work every day.
Yeah.
So I don't feel, and then sometimes the results come twofold one week and only half the next week, and et cetera. But I keep pushing forward because I know I am confident in my business model that this will get me that. And if I do this consistently over time, I'll get more of that.
Okay. And so you're not attached to whatever, it's just conversations. In whatever way your people can have enough conversations over time consistently to hit the goal, you're good with.
I know it'll work. This is not rocket science. This business is not rocket science. If you talk to enough people and understand how to isolate who has motivation and understand their time frame and understand how you can add value and help them, what's the next part to that? Doing business with them.
Yep.
You're just not talking to enough people. That's the simple model. And I'm not saying talk to more people is necessary. There's 2 parts to that. Number 1, talk to more people. Number 2, increase your skills.
Okay. What does that look like?
Like, what do I mean when I say skills?
Yeah.
Well, it's really interesting because actually, I like to talk and I like to actually ask questions and I like to learn more about people. And Diana Kokosch used to do this, right? It's like the listening presentation that you never say a word and you only ask questions. Ask questions. Ask tons of questions. Know exactly what to say. Follow Phil Jones. Exactly what to say type stuff. Like, just know who people are, understand what their needs are, and understand how you can solve a problem for them. Specifically in our world, revolving real estate.
Yeah. Okay. So, Sarah, is that a question in there, hon?
No, keep going. Just highlighting notes, making sure people hear what he's saying.
All right. So, but back to the question. So, and it could be, I get that you're not attached to the how, but let's say you hire me on the team and I come on week 1. Am I expected to work 8 to 5 every day?
You are expected to wake up, dress up, and show up. And what I mean by that is obviously get up. I am adverse to remote. I just don't like it because everybody gives themselves a free pass to do other things. And on my team, I like you to be here. Now, if you're an individual agent, showing up may mean something different, but I mean, dress up, right? Remember, COVID taught us that we could work from home and we could work in a t-shirt, and not have pants on, and nobody'd really know or care.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So when we do ours, even during COVID, we did our Zoom calls, and when we were forced to be in that format, you know what we made everybody do? Dress up. Dress up, dress like a professional, even if you're not leaving the home. Why? Because you have a different level of self-confidence when you dress up. Now, I ironically wear essentially a t-shirt every day. So when I say dress
that's
up,
your that's your dressy t-shirt. I mean,
it is. It's got like 2 buttons on it and everything. And the point is, dress up, whatever that means to you, and show up. Now, that could mean the office, that could mean your home office, that could mean your workstation, that may mean you all get to sit by the beach and do stuff. Whatever is your isolated time, you've got to do that every day. You've got to do that. You got to wake up, dress up, show up. That's number one. Number two, it's this. I'm not going to always explain to you the why behind it. Now, I'm going to tie what you want to do to your goals. So I help you see. The first and foremost thing you have to have is, why do you want this? Why do you want the dollar amount that you want? Why do you want the whatever? And I'm not going to go into all that, but every goal has to be tied to something emotional that you want. Because if you don't have an emotional tied to it, it's just a unit, it's just a transaction, it's just a dollar amount. It doesn't matter. And you'll never know when it's enough. Yeah. And so, and you'll be the person that's burning the candle at both ends. You'll burn out, you'll phase out, and you'll go out. So it has to be tied to a why first and foremost. But after that, here's the thing. I don't explain the why. I explain the what and the how. And you're just going to do this, and you're going to do X amount of. It's like Vince Lombardi used to have that, right? He's like, show up and you're like, day one, a football camp. This is a football. And he would describe it. He'd say, this is a football, and you're going to run the play. Now, here's what I say. Let's think of football, right, for a second. Let's think of NFL quarterbacks, right? When they're new, they run the play, and the coach is on the side, and the coach is calling the play, and say, this is the play that we're going to run, and et cetera. Once that quarterback gains confidence from his coach, he gets the right to call audibles, right? My point is this: till you earn that trust, you don't get to call audibles. You just run it my way. You run my play because I know my play will deliver the results. When you do it consistently over time, you then earn the right to become entrepreneurial, as we like to call it in the MR and the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. Prior to that, I'm systematic. I'm actually not systematic, but I like the results that systems give. So it's run my play. I have the play. I know exactly what it is that we're supposed to do, and I have a couple of different options. You can do different things. So if you get bored of this, go do this. But these are the activities. This is the practice. This is how we show up. This is the play we're going to run that will get you on goal. Once we get you on goal, and you can prove consistently that you can stay on goal, you can bring your personal autonomy into it.
Man, as an OP, I would love if we could run the entire market center that way.
Well, yes. Yes. Challenge.
Everybody would be happier, right? I mean, I know we all get into the business because we want some sense of freedom, but boy, that sense of freedom doesn't look good in my checking account.
The sense of freedom. So, right, it's the things we talked about. The sense of freedom can be number one. Listen, I love freedom as much as anybody else after I've done my work. Because
well,
here's
and
the
the
thing.
Reality is you have real freedom because you've done the work.
Well, that's okay. It's like this. Here's one. So number one, we all like freedom and we all like vacations. Do you know what the purpose of goals are? The purpose of goals is that when you're on goal, you can go on vacation and you don't have to answer your phone. You can leave your phone behind. You're not chasing this transaction that's sloppy and messy of the person that's mad because they've only had 2 showings and whatever. You don't have to do that when you're on goal. You have to worry about it and think about it. But when you're behind goal and you go on vacation, it's all you think about. Well, you may as well not go on vacation.
Yep.
It's permission to enjoy the white space.
All right, and then we may have time to open it up. So the last question that I had sent you,
and I cut you off on the last one. Well, no, you finished.
Okay.
You got it. Yeah.
I do want we're used to each other, and that's why I wanted me to be the one to interview you. Like you say so many words so fast, you make Sarah look slow. Our people will understand that. My team leader is very, very rapid.
Fast enough? Good.
But it's great because we get so much value in a little amount of time. But this last question was really for me. And
Okay.
you and I have been through some things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am so blessed that I did meet the jackass in the class when I met him, because pretty much during, and I don't, until I was thinking about this interview, I didn't realize that's when my life started to turn in a really tough
Oh,
direction
yeah.
on
Yeah.
lots
Yeah.
of different ways.
Yeah.
And you have been, I mean, you just have been amazing. But we've also seen each other through some times when we were both homicidal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to be
Yeah.
real with people,
Yeah.
uh, Dan has an amazing business, and he's still a human who's going to face some shit. And so we've been in that arena together, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've never asked you because, but I've seen the fire. You're like me. Your ears get red. If our ears get red, you just want to move, like move. Um, when the days suck, or when you've
Uh-huh.
got multiple days that have
Uh-huh.
sucked, or a month,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
what keeps you in it? Because again, you could definitely say, and we've had this conversation, fuck it, I'm good. I don't need the BS anymore. I can just run away from all this and I'd be fine.
Yeah.
And you haven't.
Yeah.
So what's your process for pulling your head back up? And or is it a combination of your process and the people you have around you? And I'm kind of leading you in that direction, but
It's both, right? Like I think we need to be okay with the fact that we can have permission to just have a part of me shit day. It's okay, right? I had one, to be frank with you, Ashley, I had one yesterday. And I'll tell you what it was. It's been about, okay, so you guys have heard the old when production's low, drama's high, when production's high, drama's low, right? Well, where has production been? Low. So inversely, what do you think's been going on? Production or drama's high. So yeah, and so I've had 30 days, because keep in mind 2 weeks, it was 2 weeks before anybody figured out they were behind goal, right? And then the drama starts, and then essentially everybody's looking to me to solve their problems. And I
or
took
blame
about,
you for it.
oh yeah, it's my fault, right? And they're looking, what they're ultimately doing is looking for somebody else to solve their problem, right? So, and the reality is they know how to solve it themselves. They just want to place blame, and that's who we are as human beings, right? It's we're human. The flip side is this. The flip side is that I also like to poke a lot of fun at people. True, Ashley, and I take it really well. And that's dangerous too, because at a point in time you can't take it anymore. So yesterday was the intersecting point where some people who I love dearly give me a really hard time about some stuff. Me take it interpersonally, because keep in mind, 30 days I felt like to myself nothing was working right. I'm doing everything and nothing's working right, and I kind of lost my bananas. I don't actually like bananas, so I don't know why I had them in the first place. But I just lost my mind, and I have to understand that. And I did not on anybody, right? It was just in general, and I had to give
But
myself
let
permission.
me pause you there, because you and I both know this. It's not on anybody, but when you're the
No,
leader of the leaders, it's on
yep,
everybody.
that's right, that's
And
right.
I've done it too. And all of a sudden, everybody's walking around like, "Oh my God."
It's funny. Jen called me yesterday, on the way into
Jen
work, and
again is on his
Jen,
team, and his
yep,
fiance.
yep, yep, and we don't live together, so she called me at 8:30, our normal kind of call
Man,
time in the morning.
that's a smart choice on her part.
Oh, I'm a lot. And she goes, "Hey, how are you?" And I said, "I'm fine." She goes, "No, you're not. I hear it in your voice." And she didn't know anything was wrong, but she just heard it in my voice. And she goes, "Okay, tell me." And what I've learned is that it's better off in a relationship when you're just honest with somebody. And she goes,
Oh
"Okay,
yeah, better than
yeah,
lying.
yeah,
It's good.
yeah." Well, and sometimes I try to cover emotions, and she's like, "Why are you hiding how you're feeling? Just tell me. I'm your person." So I went through it and I told her, and she goes, "Okay." She goes, "It's okay to be that way today. Like, it just take the day, be in your feelings, be honest with yourself." Ashley knows this about me also. Something that I am is I like to think I'm very vulnerable. And what that means is I have one or two people, and it's not everybody. I can't vomit on everybody, but I have one or two, three confident people that, or entrusted people that I can go sit down and go, I just have this going on, and it's not rational, because it's, let's be honest, it's not our responses to this happening is not rational. It's an emotion, right? And guess what? It's okay. It's okay to do that. And it's okay to sit and do that with somebody that's not going to have judgment. And also, here's the flip thing, also somebody that's not trying to fix it for you. We are fixers by nature as agents. And sometimes the last thing that person needs is someone to fix something. I've had Jen come into my
You
office.
sound like a chick right now.
Who do you think I learned it from? Jen has told me, she's like, hey, and she'll come in and she'll start going off on something. And I'll go like, well, here's the 30 rational solutions. She's like, I don't want rational solutions right now. And she'll say, and so I've started with, hold on, is this a problem you want me to fix, or do you just want to vent and want me to listen? And she goes, I just want you to vent and listen. And I'm like, okay. And so that's how she and I are communicating. And my point is, find that person that you can just get it out. Because here's the thing, you got to get it out. Because if you don't get it out, it's just going to stay inside. You're familiar with the story model, Ashley. I know you are. And what happens is, when we feel a certain way, then we start looking for evidence. We start telling ourselves a story in the head. The market's crap. Nothing's happening. Oh, by the way, 4,000 transactions happened last month. You just weren't a part of a tenth of them. And you look at that and you're like, oh, nothing's happening. The business is down 50%. And then you start looking for confirmation. Well, this person just fired me from a listing. I haven't had any. And then you start, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, for lack of better terms. And it is okay just to break down and sit down with somebody that you know and trust and go, hey, listen, I don't need you to fix anything, and get it all out. I'm telling you, there's something psychologically cleansing about dumping it all, because what you'll realize is about 30 minutes, my rant was 30 minutes, 30 minutes into it, you're like, and she said, okay, is it all out? And I said, yeah, it's all out. And then I started going into this other rant again. She goes, okay, clearly not. Keep going. And I kept going. And I was done. She's like, okay, you done now?
Let me pause there for a minute, Dan. And we've not had this conversation, but you actually are an emotional guy. You are very in touch with yourself. That's why you can be vulnerable, because like you're a man's man, and yet you have no problem feeling.
I'm like a chick. I'm a chick's dream.
True. All right. So, but I will also say this, and the class that I'm teaching, I'm probably going to say this a lot over the next 12 weeks. If you are feeling something, it has to come out. It has to come out. Now, you have to be wise in where you allow that to come out. But if you repress it, it gets worse.
Yeah.
It's
and then you carry it and you continue telling yourself this story. And it is okay, by the way, because here's the thing. If Jen had told me I was being ridiculous, I would immediately like spawned up and been like, bah! No, I'm not. And then it'd been a fight, right? And instead, by the end of it, guess who thought they were being ridiculous? Me. And I'm like, okay. But I got it all out. Here's the thing. I went home, I got a good night's sleep, and I woke up in a completely different mindset today. Completely different. So I'm no psychologist. And I am like, I'm fine talking about feelings. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think, and to Ashley's point, I am a man's man, and that's typically not what we want to do. But if you don't have that safe person, you'll internalize it. You'll tell yourself a story to the point that you'll actually think that you're failing. Then you'll believe you're failing. Then you'll tell yourself you are, and then you won't even try. Right?
No, yeah, it becomes, like you said, a self-fulfilling prophecy.
That's right.
So there is a question from Emily in the box, and I want to make sure anybody who has a question, get it in there now, and I'm going to read Emily's now. Okay. So how long have your 3 to 4 other agents been on the team?
One 7 years, one 5 years, one about 3 years, and one about 3 months.
Ooh, newbie. And then what are the top 3 qualities I think she meant to say that you look for in
agents? Number one, you got to be honest. I can't at this point in time, I can't teach you to be a good person, right? Honest all the time. And that means in all things. That means with clients, that means with lenders, that means with yourself, that means with me. You got to be honest. I can't help somebody that's hiding behind the truth. Number 2, you have to be, and I hate to use the word hungry, honest, and humble, right? The hungry part is you've got to win. Like before I actually went through,
I'm going to put in the text box that those 3 things are from the Ideal Team Player, which is
I stole them
by Patrick Lencioni.
Yep. And so the humble part is, we don't want to be braggadocious and cocky and all that. That's not attractive. Nobody likes that. There's a place for that, and confidence is different, right? Confidence is great. But like before, like the KPA, actually, one of the things I also look for, I'm going to actually identify the person first, but the last trait I look for is, are they competitive? And what I really specifically look for is, did they compete in sports? And I'm not saying people can't be competitive and do other things, and I'm not saying they have to be in sports, but that specifically to me was a trigger of A, they're a team player, B, they like to win, and they actually hate to lose, right? So that was like really elementary. Here's what's really interesting. What I did first is I actually visualized the person. Let me back up. The personality traits. If you want to visualize the person, that's fine too. You have to get crystal clear on who it is you're looking for, what they look like. You have to be able to articulate it to somebody else. Like as an example, if I want an agent on my team or if I want a team leader, I visualize it so that I can articulate it. So as an example for a team leader, what I'm looking for is somebody that's charismatic. They're put together. They are articulate. The kind of the life of the party, right? And every time you have a conversation with them, you leave wanting just a little bit more from that conversation, and you can't wait till the next time you talk to them. Those are personality traits that I look for. And so, because let's be honest, a lot of people don't know what the KPA is, et cetera, and how to do some of those. And what I do is I want to be able to articulate it to the layperson, and I want them to think of the first person that comes to mind when they think it. And that's how I lead generate for talent. Is I first describe the person in terms that they would understand. I did this. I hired a team leader from this exercise, and I had interviewed and KPA'd 90 people. 90 people looking for a team leader over the course of 3 months. So I did it really fast. That's all I did. And I wasn't hitting it. And I went into the team meeting and I described the person, and I made everybody close their eyes. I made everybody get out a piece of paper, and I made everybody close their eyes, and I described the person I was looking to hire. Then I asked them to open their eyes and put the first name and phone number on the paper they could think of. Didn't care what industry they were in. And they did it. And I hired the person from that exercise.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So
and
that's a team leader. That's an incredibly hard role to fill, but anybody growing a team can do the exact same thing with the people they know. Yeah.
Now, keep in mind that person that gave me that reference who ultimately became our team leader had known for the previous 4 months that we didn't have a team leader, and had never brought me that name till I described them.
Clarity is power. That's
right.
Power of the specificity is what got you there.
That's right. And that name came from that, and I hired from that, and it was outside of industry, and it was a phenomenal fit for a long run.
Awesome. All right,
so
we got 4 minutes. We got questions, guys. Emily, you put a light bulb in there. I don't know if that means you have a question, or you can come off mute too, guys. You don't have to type it.
Sorry, I was walking the dog. The competitive thing. So sports playing or competitive dance, whatever. That was my light bulb.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can make balloons go up again. Nope.
All right.
Actually, you asked me earlier. I'll jump on this because you asked me one thing. You're like, how do I turn one book of business into multiple books of business?
Yes.
Okay. And I'll give you why my focus of by the way, I hate to use the word lead generation. Let's talk about lead conversion, because let's be honest, generating leads isn't any problem at all. Generating names, phone numbers, and email addresses isn't a challenge, right? I would argue you know more people. You probably have more people in your phone than you need to hit your goals next year, right? Now, lead conversion is different. When you focus on, so let's look at the buy side only. If you lead generate or lead convert, right, to get a buyer, how many transactions are going to flow in line with that? Immediately.
One. Well, flow. Yeah, with the buyer.
Immediately, like in 30. And I'm not talking any repeat and referral. I'm just saying you generate a buyer lead. Now, the beauty about buyer leads is that they're going to transact likely in 30 days if they're indeed an A buyer, and you're going to get paid. I'm just going to pretend another 30 days. I don't know your exact escrow period, but let's just pretend it's a 60-day paycheck, right? So it's the fastest path to cash that we know of, and that's why people get hung in that. Yet, it takes me the same amount of time to convert a lead for a buyer appointment that it takes me to convert for a listing appointment. Okay, so just know that's a fact, because we're limited on time, and I hope everybody just believes me in that, right? And actually, you've done this long enough, and some of you have just as much time. This is one book of business immediately, and it ends right there when you close. A listing appointment generates multiple points of business if you are a master at converting leads. Let's use this as an example. We've all had this, I hope, the listing that you put up, and we have a few of them, I can remember some of them, that I don't even sell for 6 months or 4 months or whatever, but I get lead after lead after lead after lead on that. I mean, I've had some that return 10 to 1 on the one transaction, and I ultimately sold the house. This is what I mean by that. So I don't know your
Let me
numbers.
pause really quick because
Yep.
quite honestly, we have agents who don't know that because our market
Okay.
time up until recently has been so fast. We lost that opportunity.
Yep. That sucked for a
Now
while.
we have it back.
Yep. Well, let's just. I don't know if this is true in your market. Tell me if I'm wrong. I would say 70% of our sellers also become buyers in our market.
Yeah.
Is that okay? All right. So that's you're at it 3/4 to 1. You're already at 1 3/4, right? If 70% become buyers, you're already at 1 3/4 transaction. And I know the 3/4 you're like, damn, that doesn't make sense. My point is 3 out of 4 will buy. So if I list 4 houses, it means 3 will become buyers also. That means that's 7 pieces of business. You understand? And all I did was lead generate for 4 listing appointments. Now let's go one step further. As days on market increase and homes are on the market longer, you get what? You get more inquiries, right? If you're doing your advertising, et cetera, and I know California may be different than Springfield, but follow my theory. You will get people inquiring on the home, be it by phone or be it by whatever communication format they do. And if you're a master at converter, meaning you don't just vomit to them what they call for, say, hey, I'm calling to see how much this house is listed for. By the way, it's a really silly question because they could sit in front of it and pull it up online. But check it out. If they call it, they probably know the subdivision. They probably have seen the front of the house. They might even be sitting in front of it, right? And I'm not saying run and jump. I'm just saying they've eliminated a lot of the options. So the goal is to convert them, to show them value, to get them into an appointment in the office to talk about their opportunities, but simply by asking questions, right? And you'll know if they're just looking or if they're serious right off the bat. So the point is, if you put a listing up, you're going to get opportunities for buyer leads over here on this. And 3/4 of the time, this person's going to buy a house. That's the immediate 3 to 1, right? But I think the challenge is that we discount them maybe by a limiting belief that they're already working with somebody. And guess what? If they say they're working with somebody, respectfully, I call BS, because if they were and they had a good relationship with that person, they'd call them and ask them. So knock out the fact that they're just giving you a very low level objection. Yeah. Are you working with that agent? Yeah, I'm working with that agent. Great. Who? I don't. No. And then my next question is, why aren't you calling them?
Yeah.
Have you signed anything with him? Well, no, I don't remember if I have or not. That's a no, by the way. Have you ever signed something and not remembered if you signed it or not? Have you ever bought a car and not remember if you signed paperwork when you bought the car? No, it's ridiculous. It's ludicrous. They're just giving you a low level excuse, and you're accepting it because you don't know what else to say, or you don't know what question to ask next. And so that's just my challenge. My challenge is so by the way, the point of a listing is to list it, advertise it, market it, and sell it. Yes. But it's also to market and advertise my business. So when I do a good job, other people see it. When I advertise and splash other people, other sellers that may be thinking of seeing it, see it also. So I can turn one listing into a minimum of 2 transactions every time. That should be the minimum. The 3 would be the goal. 5 is the stretch. So every listing that you go on, that's why I'm so emphatic about taking the listings. Now, that's within reason, right? If I know it's going to sell and I know I'm going to work with it, listings are an opportunity to market my business and to list and sell more houses. And I need to capitalize on every strategy that takes to generate more business from it.
Well, we know it's the highest leverage point in our business, right? It's probably the reason you don't have to work nights and weekends, because buyers kind of want to watch, property on nights and weekends. If you got the listing, let every other buyer's agent go show it.
That's right. And so I think here's your point, Ashley. We know it. We know that's the right answer because that's logical. But do we internalize that? Do we actually believe that? Here's another thing that I do every listed appointment that I go up to. And this is silly, but this is an exercise I do with myself and my math. Take the law of what I did. Take the 3, right? If you want to, before you walk up and walk into any listing appointment, you should already calculate the financial opportunity of that house. By the way, most sellers, I don't know if that's true in your market, but in my market, up until the last house that people own, most people move up 100% in sales price. Now, if that's true in your market, but in my market, and we still have these, $100,000 seller buys a $200,000 house. $200,000 seller buys a $400,000.
I'm going to find that out. That is an interesting question.
Right. So I don't go to that extreme. By the way, can you all double side transactions out there?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's just use Ashley's example of $700,000. If you guys can play along with me for just a second. So you walk up to the door. Before you get to the door on the sidewalk, because by the way, realtors can do 6% of any number, right? But let's just pretend. So we'll work out. So you're walking up to the door. That house is how much of an opportunity just in listing it and selling it if you only get one book of business.
21 grand.
Nope, it's 42,000. Because you can double end it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Aha, gotcha.
Yeah, you did.
Now they might buy a house. And if my rule is true, let's not even do the math up. If they buy the same dollar, there's another $21,000. What are we up to now? $63,000. Balloons. Perfect. $63,000. And if you generate one more book of business off of it, so if we go to the 3, what was I at? Is that 42 plus 21 is 63. Now I'm at $84,000. Every listing to me is worth $84,000. I'm sorry.
Might want to practice more.
In your market, every listing you take is an opportunity to make $84,000. That's your job. That's how you capitalize and make money. It's just not. You don't just walk into the list and go, "Well, that's 700,000. It's 3% of $700,000 is a $21,000 opportunity." That's an $84,000 financial opportunity. Walking up to that. Now the question is, would you write you a check for $84,000 based on how you're showing up to that listing appointment? Would you write you a check for $84,000 based upon the follow-up that you're having on it? My challenge is, when I ask myself that question, my answer is typically no. That's not how I'm showing up.
It's a great perspective.
When you see it like that, you see the listing opportunities different. And guess what? If you can turn one listing into 3-to-1 and you want to be in the top 5% of the agents, you only have to do that 8 times a year. Yep. You can go on 8 listing appointments a year and hit every financial goal that you have in that market, I would argue.
I think you're exactly right.
So tell me your other excuses.
I love this because they're going to like me so much better.
Because you've already said the same thing?
No, because I'm probably a little bit softer.
I can get preachy, and I apologize. I hope you all hear it with a
love
heart
it.
in a minute.
I'll do the same for your agents if you ever need it.
100% need it, and you've already done it.
All right. Well, again, I could stay here all day, but it's 2:36. So thank you, sir. Give Jen a big hug for me.
I will.
What can we do for you? Should maybe you give everybody your phone number so when we have Springfield, Missouri referrals?
100%. And I don't know of one person yet that's moved from LA to Springfield, but there will be one from this call. And my direct cell phone number is 417-300-3001.
Awesome.
And that's a real number.
I'm going wider and you're going wider.
Hey, settle down. It's Silver Fox.
We missed each other at Mega Camp, so
we did.
Usually since February.
I know that in any local event that we're at, or any national event that we're at, that I'm going to get a random ass smack, and it's always going to be Ashley, and I never know when it's going to come. I'm always prepared.
There's some things are supposed to be kept between us.
Well, and it's a pat. It's more of a pat. It's like a go teammate. It's like football again. It's a football analogy. It's like a good job, good hustle. This is Ashley and I's relationship, by the way. We love each other dearly, and we truly are, I would say, like brothers and sisters. And then we laugh. The funniest thing about it is because we are completely polar opposite, and she's one of my favorite people in the whole world.
Ditto. And I don't actually think we're that opposite, but
no,
that's to be debated another day.
Yeah. Different backgrounds. How about that?
Very different backgrounds.
Yeah.
All right.
What else can I help with? Anything, or are we cutting her off? We're done.
Well, I don't want to make people stay.
I think we should just bring Dan back once a month. Once a month, we'll bring Dan back, or once a quarter for a little ass smacking football play analogy. Get your ass together.
I may call on you again because we didn't get to the Chicago story.
Oh yeah.
And if you're up for it, on your next tough week, come hang out with us.
Oh, I'd love to. I'm likely going to have one anytime soon. And by the way, that's totally okay.
That's it. All right, you all. Thank you, Dan. Love you, sir.
Thank you. Love you. Long time.